Welcome to this video on the Peyia Star Catalog and its NFTs. This is a walk around of the entire space about the Peyia Star Catalog NFTs, and by the time you finish this video you'll understand all about it. But there's a lot to do, so we'll get stuck straight in. As you can see, we're on the home page of the Peyia Star Catalog on OpenSea of the collection. There's a lot of information down here in the description, especially these links which will help you learn more. And scrolling down, I've minted a few NFTs. This is on the test net, but it'll be exactly the same as the main net. And on the left is a panel from OpenSea to do with the rarities and other information. Right, so we'll click on this NFT here. As you can see, this is all a standard page for an NFT on OpenSea. Down here we've got the description, we've got the attributes, we've got levels for you collectors, then we've got the description again with those links to the videos which will tell you all about what this all means. This pattern of lights is actually describing this code, which is its entry in the catalogue. And then going down further we have the details, and we'll have a look at the metadata for this NFT. All that beautiful JSON data, isn't it lovely? As you can see here, I've set the creator earnings to 0, and I've done this because I'm more interested in the catalogue's preservation, you wanting to hold an NFT, than I am to make money. And also, in the distant future, it keeps the contract simple so that there aren't any potential problems if my wallet doesn't exist, for example. The next thing we'll do, we'll have a look at the contract. And here we find ourselves on Etherscan, which is like the explorer for everything on the Ethereum blockchain. And if you come down here, you'll see that the creator is me, 5D7D70. In fact, I'm the only one that can mint these NFTs, so any genuine NFT will have me as the first owner. If we come down here and click on here, contract, then we are on the contract page, and here if we go down and have a look at the code, scroll all the way down, you will see where does it start? 1801. This is the little bit to do with the Peyia Star Catalog, and it's a ERC721. And the first thing I've done is I put myself on the blockchain in this string here as a doxed creator. And what else can we see? We can change the base URI, and I've had a long think about whether to fix the contract or whether it can be repaired, and at the moment I want a contract that's repairable, because if anything changes or is updated, I want to be able to fix the contract. So that means not having things on IPFS and being able to change the base URI where the metadata is found. Here is the safe mint function, as you can see, only owner, and there's a bit of coding here so that the token ID is the same as the entry in the catalogue as the code, and that starts at 1000 and not at 0. And then here, this is another thing that I wanted to include. This info array here is stored on the blockchain, and these are links to where you can find all the information on the Peyia Star Catalog. So if wherever the information is stored, the GIFs and all the other information and the metadata, if one of those links goes down, it can be transferred to another link. And I think that's really important. I think there's a lot of vulnerabilities in a standard contract. And then there's two more functions here. One is to add something into the array, and another is to delete something from the array. Let's have a look at some of the features of the contract. If we scroll up here and click on Read Contract, we come to this page here, and let me show you some things. If we click on Creator there's that string that I described earlier, and that's stored on the blockchain. Another thing we can have a look at is the info array contents. These are all the links to the information about the metadata and the GIFs, everything else to do with the Peyia Star Catalog. So if one of these links goes down, A, it can be replaced, or B, you can use another one. So you'll never lose your link to your NFT, which is very important. And also, you really need to store your own GIF file and your metadata file, so that if you ever want to sell your NFT, you won't be stuck and relying on anybody else. Now, if we go to the info array and call number 2 on the info array, you can see that we get to this particular entry on the blockchain, and this is a link to one of the repositories of the information stored about the Peyia Star Catalog. So if I copy this, open up another browser window and paste it in, we come to this repository, which is one of the storage facilities of all the information to do with the Peyia Star Catalog. Let's have a quick whiz through of the contents of this Google Drive. First of all, we've got a folder with all the GIFs in. They're between 5 and 10 megabytes each. Then we have a folder with all the metadata, all the JSON data, which OpenSea accesses. Then we have the star certificates. These are certificates, a PDE certificate of the sending of the light beam, and it's something from another part of my work, but I've included it here because it gives another asset to the NFT. Then we have the alphabet. If you've got a GIF and you want to find out what it says, you can use this as a dictionary. So lowercase z here is this shape here. Then we have the videos. There'll be 6 altogether. Then we have the Greek-English character dictionary. In the Peyia catalogue, he uses Greek characters, and I've had terrible trouble with them in file names, etc. So I've had to use equivalents of Latin characters. So if you come across that, you can access them there. We have another copy of the contract. We have the VBA code and the code, all the code that I've used. I've put here all the code that I've written to create the contract. So this is in VBA. This is a VBA macro to create the metadata. I'm afraid a bit old-fashioned, but most of it is in VBA. But you can use that if it's helpful to you. And then finally, we have the spreadsheet. And now this contains all the data of the Peyia Star Catalog. In these, you've got the token ID, you've got the code, and all the different various bits of data attached to each NFT. And these ones which are in this brown highlighting are a bit more interesting for you collectors. And you can see all this data which you can find on the OpenSea NFT page as well. Here is the time sent, there's the GIF frame size, the distance from Earth or from the Sun. This is the Moon, this is in light seconds and not light years, the magnitude. All these things which make it interesting for collectors, and also it defines the point in time when the catalogue was created, because as stars moved, all these will change. So in other words, it's a kind of clock. It's a kind of picture in time of the sky as we can see it today. One point I'd like to return to is the storage of all the data once again, and I know I'm a bit paranoid, but I'll explain my thoughts. Here we're in Google Drive, and as you can see, I've got nearly 10 gigabytes or 15 gigabytes used. Now, this storage is free and it will exist. It's not being paid for. If we go back to the info array, I've selected very carefully some places to store the data. One of them is my website server, and these are the other ones. Now, if you have a look, there's iDrive here and pCloud. The reason I've chosen those two data storage facilities is that I can store them with a one-off payment. I don't have to subscribe to keep my files on their storage, and that's not the case with IPFS. If I decide that I'm not going to pay my IPFS subscription, all that would just disappear, and if I don't care, you've lost your NFTs. So if we say go to iDrive here, we'll put that in another browser window. Here you can see this storage facility, and there's the folders with the GIFs and the certificates and the JSON data. So it's very important that in 25 years' time, if some firm goes bust, or if I die and I decide not to pay the bills of the storage facility, they'll be there. On that iDrive, I have actually paid a one-off storage fee. So whatever happens, it'll be there, and everybody can access that data. I got quite excited about Arweave, which is a decentralized storage with a one-off payment, but I found that's been really difficult to use, and I'm not sure that it's going to be that much of a success, as it relies on the value of a token as well. But we'll see. I'm going to add more onto this. These data storages aren't finished yet, so there's going to be more in this array. It'll steadily be populated with more and more items. Well, that about wraps it up. There are a few more tweaks to be made before we can deploy to the mainnet, and then we can start making some of the NFTs. The project will go on for maybe even a year or two. I've only done as many stars as I can see from here in Cyprus, and there's all the southern hemisphere stars to do as well, which I'm quite excited about. But there'll probably be about another 300 or 400 of those, and the NFTs are capped on this contract at 1,250, so there'll never be any more than that. Okay, well, if you've made it this far, thanks for watching, and I hope it's been interesting for you.